just close your eyes. And just take a moment, just as we do at the beginning of every practice, to settle in and just get quiet. Drop your shoulders, unclench your teeth, and just connect deeply to your breath. Slow inhales and deep exhales. And today we'll be working on balance postures, but we'll also set some intention on finding inner balance. Recognizing that balance is always going to be a practice. And the moment that you take your eyes off of it, just like in our tree pose, just like in any of our balancing postures, we start to lose it a little bit. So it is always going to be a work in progress. Knowing that that's okay. So just softly let your eyes float open. And make your way right over to your hands and your knees. We'll find our tabletop shape. And just work into a few rounds of cat and cow. And just do this at your own pace, just to kind of get your spine warmed up before we move any further. Let's say maybe about 5 or 6 deep breaths here. Just making sure you're connecting that breath to movement. Exhales, we find cat pose. And inhales, we open cow pose. Let's take one more breath. Good, come back to your neutral spine. And here you might need a block, you may not. We're going to work on opening our feet just a little bit before we move into those standing balance postures. So you're going to go ahead and dig your toes under. Start to sit back towards your heels. Now, if this hurts a lot, you may take a block underneath your butt to sit yourself up a little bit taller. Reach back, spread your toes out just a little bit wider. And then you can stay here or slowly start to walk your fingertips in. And eventually you're sitting all the way back onto your heels and lifting up tall through the crown of your head. And you can hold this stretch. You can stay right here. Or maybe you take the fingertips behind you, touching down to the mat, and lifting up through the heart center. The chin can always stay tucked in, especially if your neck hurts. And just take a breath or two. Feel the stretch into the balls of your feet, into the soles of your feet. And then slowly back over to your hands. Lift your feet and just roll out your ankles. Just make sure you go both directions. Toes under again, and this time we'll find our child's pose. So sit back towards your heels and then just slide your fingertips forward. Relax the upper body. Deep breath here. And let it go. Come up to downward facing dog. And even in this posture, we find some balance, right? So you want to even out the weight between your hands and your feet. And the tailbone is kind of that center point as we lift up nice and tall through the tail. Relax your head. And then just slowly start to walk your feet up to meet the hands. Find a little half lift, look forward. And then bend the knees a bit and fold. Relax the upper body. Bend your knees enough so that your ribs touch your thighs. And then shake your head out. Yes. And shake your head out. No. Let the arms be nice and loose, maybe a little side-to-side sway with the upper body. And we'll make our way all the way up to standing, nice and slow, one vertebrae at a time, arriving. Finding mountain pose, balancing between grounding through the feet and lifting through the crown of the head. Tuck the tailbone and find some connection to your core in the middle. Relax your shoulders. your jaw. Take a deep breath in. Exhale, bring hands together at heart center and connect. Inhale, reach forward and arch back, opening up through the chest. Exhale, forward fold. Same thing, bend the knees as deep as you need. Inhale to look forward, hands come to the shins. Exhale, send your left foot back. Bring the knee down and sink into your hips. Just take a moment to look up. Soften into the hips, soften into the low back. And let's step back to plank. Toes together, shoulders right over your wrists. Inhale. Exhale, come down to your knees. Bring the elbows in towards the ribs, heart between the hands. Sliding forward, cobra pose, tops the feet to the floor. Downward facing dog. Good, your next breath, let's step the left foot forward. If you need to, you bring that right knee down and then use the hand to help the foot forward. And same thing, an extra breath here to really just soften into your hips. And step forward to the top of your mat, feet together. Rise all the way up, nice and strong through the thighs, and hands back down to the heart center. We'll do that one more time on the right side. Inhale, reach back. Exhale, fold down. Inhale, look forward, half lift, hands to shins. Exhale, send your right foot back. Bring the knee down, sink in and look up. Step back to plank. Knees, chest, and chin. Elbows graze ribs. Cobra pose, tops of feet touch. Downward facing dog. Good, right foot steps forward, same thing. If you need to, you bring the back knee down, scooch that foot forward and look up. Feet together, find your forward fold. Rise all the way up. Hands to the heart. Come back to your mountain pose. Take a breath. And then take your hands together behind your back. Interlace the fingers, squeeze the heels of your hands together. Rinse out that space right between your shoulder blades. Nice deep inhale. And exhale, send it forward, fold. So same thing, belly or rib to thigh contact. Rock a little bit of weight forward into the balls of your feet. Relax your neck. Keep the fingers interlaced, but separate just the heels of your hands. Work a little further into your shoulders. Good. Now trying on our balance here a little bit, we're going to transfer the weight into the right foot and see if we can let the left toes get a little lighter. So maybe the toes just stay light and touching the ground. Eventually your heel comes up towards your butt. Deep breath in wherever you are. Good, and as we exhale, we're going to step it back to low lunge. So your back toes come down, hands come to frame the foot. Take a deep breath. Plant the left hand, reach the right fingertips up, twist in that low lunge. Beautiful. Bring the right hand down. And then we're going to rise up to high lunge. So same thing, you're on your back toes, lifted through that back knee. Hands are reaching up. Good. Now from here, transfer your weight forward into the front foot. And see if you can get the back toes to lift. Find warrior 3. And if you need some help from a couch or something else, lightly touch it. Don't be afraid to do that. Lift the toes high. Beautiful. Release the back foot down. Find a 45-degree angle and open yourself up to warrior 2. So your right toes are forward. We're going to bend into that right knee. Good. It's a deep bend into the right knee. We're lifting up through heart center. The tailbone is tucked. One more breath here. Bring the hands all the way down to frame the foot. Bring the back knee down, top of foot to the earth. Interlace the fingers, press off of the thigh. So your left knee is down, your right knee is bent. Beautiful. If you feel like going further here, you can reach the fingertips up, maybe arc back. Good. Step that right foot in very slightly so that you've got a box with both of your knees. Hands come down to the heart center. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, twist to the right. Bring the elbow to the outside of your knee. Palms press together. Use those exhales to rinse out your spine. Each breath, we press the thumbs a little closer towards the center of the chest. Good. Hands come down to frame the foot. Step back to downward facing dog. So dig the toes and press back. Now you can choose to stay in down dog, or you can follow me into plank. Knee is chest and chin. Cobra pose. And back to down dog. 2 breaths here together. Good. Bring your gaze towards your palms and walk your feet up to meet the hands. Take a little half lift either at the fingertips or pressing into your shins. And then fold all the way back in, relax. Interlace the hands again behind the back. And let the knuckles start to fall overhead. Relax your neck. Good. Now we're transferring weight into the left foot and seeing if the right toes can get a little lighter. Eventually, we drag that heel all the way up to our glute. And you might be a little wobbly in that front ankle, but that's how we build strength here, as long as there's no sharp pain. From there, step it all the way back, bring the back foot down, hands to frame the left foot, find your low lunge. Right hand plants, left fingertips rise all the way up, twisting. Good. Keep pressing through the back heel. Take another breath. Hand comes down, and we adjust for our high lunge. So same thing, your back knee is really lifted, back leg is really active. Good. Bring the hands down to heart. Transfer your weight forward into that left foot now, and get some takeoff for Warrior 3. So eventually your hips square down towards the earth, and that might make you fall, and that's okay. The back toes are reaching, spreading wide. Slowly bring that right foot down, 45 degrees, and open yourself up for Warrior 2. Left knee bends, left fingertips are forward. Good. Breathing deep. Let's say 2 more breaths here. Really strong legs. Come on down to frame the foot. Pivot to the back toes again. This time you're bringing your back knee down, flattening out the foot, and interlace and press off the thigh. And same thing if you want to reach up. Breathe deep. Last breath here. Press the floor away. Step that left foot in very slightly. And bring the hands down to heart. Inhale, lengthen the spine. Exhale, twist to the left. Elbow to the outside of that knee. Hands press together. Same thing, keep working the thumbs towards the center of your chest, towards the sternum. Good, final 2 breaths here. Hands frame the foot. Back to downward facing dog. Same thing, you can stay or rock forward to plank. And then join me in knees, chest, and chin. Into your cobra. Back to downward facing dog. Same thing, 2 big breaths in down dog. Relax your head, no tension in your neck. And then let's walk the feet up again towards the top of the mat. Half lift and fold. 2 breaths. Let the upper body get really heavy. And then bring the arms out to the T and rise all the way up. Bring the hands back down to heart center. Take a deep breath here. Beautiful. So we'll find tree pose from here, which is one of the tougher balancing postures. So we'll work on it together. So we get nice and grounded again. Let's spread our toes out nice and wide and find a spot to focus on. Hopefully not moving. Hold your gaze there. Transfer the weight to the left foot. Let the right toes get lighter. And turn out at that right knee. So this can be tree pose. Right, toes on the ground. You can maybe slide your foot up just a little bit higher below the knee. Or maybe you use the hand and help the foot all the way up towards the thigh. There is no right way to do tree pose. Those postures are all valid. So you hold here and you lift through the crown of your head. Find some connection to your core and make sure you're breathing slow and steady. Good, one more breath. And very gently release with as much control as you can. I always like to roll out my ankles or shake out my ankles. Opposite side now, grounded into your right foot. Left toes get lighter. And we turn out. So again, find your tree pose. You might be toes on the ground. We might be just above. Or maybe we're all the way up to the thigh. Good. One side might be more wobbly than the other. If you fall out, get right back in. Find mountain pose again. And then reestablish your tree. And make sure we're not slumping. Lift and lengthen. And then very slowly, with control, release. Shake out the ankles, release the hands, and take a deep breath. Separating your feet to about mat's distance, mat's distance is good. We'll turn the toes out very slightly and come down into our squat. So if you don't have the full squat where you come all the way down and hands to heart center, remember you can always grab a block and place it underneath your butt to give yourself a little more height. So really press into the upper arms to let the thighs really open. and then lengthen. Lift through the spine. Tuck the tailbone down towards the earth. Close your eyes. Breathe. Slowly release the hands. Take them behind you and just plop on down to your butt. Keeping the knees bent, let's take the hands behind the knees and just lift up nice and tall. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, tip yourself back just a bit. Lift the toes and find your boat. So another deceptive looking posture. Boat pose looks like it would be easy, but it is an incredibly challenging balance posture. Really great for the core. So you can stay right here. You can start to take some weight out of your hands. Keep your heart lifted. One more breath. Slowly release the toes all the way down. Hands alongside you. Take a deep breath. We'll make our way into our inversion practice. So today I'm going to lead you through legs up the wall, but if you've got anything else that you're working on, you can go for it. So if you've got something in your hair, you might want to take it out. We'll press the soles of the feet down into the earth, lift the hips, and slide the block underneath our sacrum, so it's that flat bony part of your low back. And then let the toes rise towards the sky. We'll take about a minute here, so just close your eyes. Relax. And about 2 or 3 more deep breaths. Slowly lower the soles of the feet down, press into the earth, and lift. Remove your block. Come all the way down. Good. Shift your hips to the left and let your knees twist down to the right. Place your arms where it feels comfortable. Good. Bring it slowly back to center. Shift the hips all the way to the right and knees down to the left. Few deep breaths. And very slowly back to center. Shift your hips back to the middle and bring your knees in towards your chest. Wrap your arms around, squeeze. Maybe a gentle side to side rock. Make your way up to your comfortable seat. And see if you can reverse the way that you would usually cross your legs. And then just take a moment to end your practice. Close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Just draw your hands together at heart center. Finding that inner balance. As always, I thank you for joining me in your own home, even if it's virtual. Have a beautiful day. Namaste.